friends! Welcome back to my channel. This is Ascension Tarot, and in today's pick a card reading, we are going to be looking at what makes you stand out from the crowd / what makes you shine. So today's pick a card reading is actually a collaboration with the amazing reader, Lexi the Leo. She is so awesome, and she is going to be doing what makes people fall in love with you on her channel. So be sure to check out her video if you haven't, either before this or after this. She is a fantastic reader and a fellow fire sign queen. So I am really excited to be doing this collaboration with her. Thank you so much, Lexi, for doing this collaboration with me. I am so excited to see what comes through in these readings today. So we have 4 piles to choose from today, starting with pile 1. We have the Mystical Dream Tarot and this Fairy Stone. And then for pile 2, we have the Ascension Tarot and this piece of Celestite. And then for pile 3, we have the Star Power Tarot as well as this piece of Citrine. And then finally for pile 4, we have the Synesthesia Tarot as well as this piece of clear quartz with Pyrite inside. So I quickly want to apologize because my voice probably sounds a little off. I am getting over a cold, but I am so excited to be back and so excited to be filming readings again. I also did quickly want to mention, if anything is wonky in this video, I'm working with a new setup, and it's very high up and I'm not very tall, and I have not invested in a stool yet, which I need to. So I can't quite see the camera, so if things are wonky, hopefully they'll be better in future videos, but I do not have calves of steel, so I can't be constantly standing on my tiptoes to make sure everything looks okay, but hopefully everything should be okay. I'm so excited to get into this reading. So once you have picked your pile or piles, you can go ahead and scroll down to the description box or the comment section where I will have all the timestamps listed down below. It is absolutely okay to pick more than one pile. Just do whatever works for you and whatever makes you the most comfortable. There is no right or wrong way to do this. And after you watch this reading, if you haven't already, be sure to go and check out Lexi's channel and give her some love, because she is another amazing reader that I think a lot of you would vibe with as well. So once you picked your pile or piles, you can go ahead and find your timestamp, and I will see you in your reading. Hi there, pile 1. If you guys chose this Fairy Stone and the Mystical Dream Tarot, this is going to be your reading on what makes you stand out, what makes you shine. So we're gonna go ahead and start with some oracles just to get an overall idea. Forgive me for my voice, I've been getting over a bad cold. But to start, we have the Crone. We have Persephone with cycles. We also have Hermes with communication. We also have the Badger. We have Party Leader. We have the Beaver. And you guys got 2 of these cards. So we have I Am Forgiving and I Am Happy. Okay, I have to start off by saying that you have a very beautiful smile and a very beautiful laugh. That is one thing that people really notice about you, is like when you laugh, like really laugh, like not just like a chuckle, but like something makes you laugh really hard. Your eyes light up in like such a beautiful way, and like the sound of you laughing really hard is like a healing sound to the people around you, which is really cool. You're definitely an old soul, no matter how old you are, age-wise. You're definitely wise beyond your years, and I think a lot of people really come to you for advice. You may be that type of person where strangers like come out of nowhere and just start giving you their life story, and you're like, why? But I feel like you welcome it in certain ways, because I do think that you have a sort of fascination around like people and their stories. Like I could really see you being the type of person to like really like things like there's a Facebook page called like Humans of New York, where this guy like photographs people, just random people, and then like, you know, talks about their story, goes in depth to their story, whatever they want to tell them. And I feel like you're that type of person where you can really connect with people from all different walks of life, all different age groups. And I think that you just have a very open-minded perspective where you genuinely just want to understand people better. You want to get to know people better. I also think you're very humble in the sense that you don't think that you're above or below anyone. I feel like you just see yourself as you and other people are them. And I think that you have this just fascination with humanity and people's stories and people's struggles and people's journeys, because definitely no matter how old you are, I think that you've been through, well, I just heard to hell and back, but I think that you've definitely been through a lot of highs and lows that have brought you to this place of like unrelenting wisdom, where even when you're in a limbo period, you always find wisdom in whatever it is that you're doing. So I definitely think that a lot of people trust you to come to you for advice or guidance, because they see you as somebody who can be very objective and also give really good advice without being like judgmental or things like that. I also think that people, maybe more superficial people, may be wary of you, because it seems like you don't have time for petty nonsense. Like, I think that you're very fascinated by deeper concepts and deeper topics in the world, and just silly things like what somebody's wearing, or petty office drama, for example. Like, that's just not, you're not into that. And I think that people see you as somebody who's very mature and takes the high road. One thing I do notice in these two figures, you could have short hair or like really like striking hair. Like, you could have really curly hair, or it could be dyed a certain color. I definitely think that you have this like image that's very attractive to a lot of people. And even if you don't view yourself as conventionally attractive, the way that you dress yourself and style yourself just works. Like, it works for you. So don't stop doing it. And one thing that I notice as well is that you could have a lot of freckles or beauty marks. And I think that that is something that people really love about you or love about your face. You could also have really sculpted eyebrows that people just are like, who does your eyebrows? And you might be like, I grew them myself. Like, nobody did. I also think that you are very down to earth in how you approach life. Like, I think you're definitely very family oriented, and the people that are closest to you are what matters the most. The beaver is water energy, and I do think that while you kind of have this air energy where you've seen a lot of stuff, you've been through a lot of things in life, so you kind of know to be more detached and rational. I think that attitude kind of goes by the wayside when it comes to the people that you love and care about. And at times that might actually get you into some sort of trouble, or might be kind of frustrating, because you may let things slide, or you may give people the benefit of the doubt, like maybe a couple times too many. But this is a really wonderful quality within you, because I think people trust you to be real with them. Like, you're not the type of person who will just cut someone off because of something petty. Like, you're the type of person who has respect for themselves, but also is willing to work through conflict and work through things that maybe pettier people would be able to face or let go of. I also think that people look to you as a leader, but I don't think you see yourself as a leader, if I'm being honest. I think leadership is something that's more so been thrust upon you rather than something that you've actively sought out. I do think that when you're around the people closest to you, I think that you do really enjoy like commanding attention or joking around and like kind of letting your goofier and sillier side out. But I think that that's kind of reserved for the people that you love and care about the most. I don't think that you show that side of yourself to just anyone. But I do think that a lot of people view you as an excellent public speaker or an excellent writer. With communication being here, I definitely think that You could have some sort of career in writing, or you could just be known for like having really good communication skills. You could be like a communications major in college, or that could have been what you did. It's kind of interesting because I don't see you as being like the most social person in the world. I think you're definitely like a quality over quantity type person. But I think the people that you value and the people that you want around you feel honored that you want them to be a part of your life. I think that your energy commands a lot of respect, and as a result, it's like even people that are more shallow or superficial, that may be the type of person to judge people on very superficial things, like they don't do that with you because there's just something about your energy that like makes them like fall in line in a way. It's really fascinating. Like you definitely are somebody that you don't want to cross in a bad way, because I do think that if people push your buttons hard enough, like you will cut them off. And I also think that, I just heard in my head, like ain't nobody got time for that. And I think that you, through your struggles, you've really learned like what is worth your energy and what is not. And I think that a lot of people are just very impressed by your ability to carry heavy energies and go through difficult times and still have like a warm, bubbly energy, and to still focus on the lighter side of life and focus on your happiness. I also think that your family really, really, really loves you. And I think other people notice how family oriented you are. Specifically, if you're a parent, I think that other people see you as a really amazing parent. I think they see that your children love you so much and that like you would clearly do anything for them. I think that you actually might be the type of person where like people like expecting parents or new parents might like come to you and be like, so what's your advice for this or that? What would you recommend? I definitely think that people really respect your opinion. And it's like, I'm hearing that song Bossy, like the very beginning, where it's like, you don't have to love me. You don't even have to like me, but you will respect me because I'm a boss. Like that's totally your energy. And I think that you have such a way of commanding respect and commanding attention. I would be shocked if you're not already in some sort of leadership position if you work, but you could also be well known for your communication skills. Like even if it's just you posting on like Facebook about your opinions or about what you're seeing in the world, I think people just really respect what you have to say because you're not a petty person. Like you're not out here slinging insults or making petty judgments about something and saying like, stating an opinion of yours and saying just because I think that way or because this silly petty reason. I feel like you're the type of person who will state their opinion on something and you'll be like, here's why, because this fact, that fact, that fact, and on top of it, in my experience, I've seen XYZ. I think people really respect your outlook, and I think that you command attention in a way that not very many people accomplish. There's nothing that surprises you at this point, and I think that you've definitely been through enough in life to recognize what truly matters and what doesn't. And so I think that people really just, a lot of people just look up to you, and it might be more confusing for you as to why that is, especially if you are on the younger side, because you may feel like you don't have enough experience yet to kind of have such a heavy hitting energy, but that doesn't matter. Like you just speak words of wisdom sometimes where people are just like, holy shit, pile one, like where did that come from? Like how do you do that? And there's this really magical part of you where it's like you may be very grounded and very like in the present, but I think that's only to make other people feel more comfortable. Like, I think that you could be very into like spirituality, religion, witchcraft, something like that, where I do think that there's a connection to nature where like you might be the type of person who can feel like the wind blowing and know exactly like what the message is from the wind. Like you just have this really incredible energy where you can naturally pick up on what the earth is trying to tell you. You can naturally pick up on what messages the universe is trying to tell you. And I think that maybe some people might fear you a little bit because it's like you can just see right through them to the parts that like they don't want anyone to see. And I do think that there's definitely the people that fear you and the people that love you. I don't think there's very many people in this world that have a fully neutral opinion of you. I do think that if it's not fear, it's intimidation. And you might be like, how am I intimidating? But people can be intimidating and not even realize it. And I think you're one of those people who maybe you're aware of it now, but I definitely think that you may have felt like people didn't like you or that people were put off by you. But the truth is that they were just intimidated by you. I just heard like smoldering gaze. So like you could have really beautiful eyes, or you could just have like this intense stare where sometimes like if you're looking at someone, like people don't want to know what you're thinking when you're looking at them, because like you can be hard to read. Like it may be easy for you to read others, but I think other people have a really, really hard time reading you and picking up on your energy. And I think that's partially like intentional. Like I think that it's partially because you protect your energy, or you do things to make sure that your energy is good. You have a lot of like awareness and personal responsibility towards yourself and towards the image and attitude that you put out into the world. And I think one thing that people really respect about you is your persistence. You don't give up very easily. And I think that you have like long-term goals that you work at very steadily. And I think that people just really admire how you're able to find peace and happiness in the present. Like you don't need to be constantly like going and doing more and more. Like you can be happy and with what you have. Like you're not constantly seeking more. You're not constantly hungry for more. I think that you've been through enough in life to where at this point, like you're just out here doing you. You're just out here trying to stay grateful, stay connected to your higher guidance or what you believe in, and make meaningful moments in your life and make those moments count. I think people really respect your mature outlook and how you just don't have time for nonsense or BS. Like it's a really respectable energy. And I think that while you may not naturally be very extroverted, I think that you just are. I think I said this earlier, but you can just command attention really well. And I think people trust you to do things like to plan outings or plan like vacations. They may also trust you to like throw parties or for loved ones, or to come up with like the best ideas for the people around you. Like if you were gonna throw a party for someone, for example, like you know people so well, like without even like having to really try. It's like somebody tells you something like, oh, I really feel drawn to Paris, for example. And then immediately like you'll remember that fact forever. And so if you're doing something special for them, you might take them to like a French cuisine restaurant or something like that. Like you just have this really immaculate attention to detail, and the things that you remember about people are honestly really impressive. Like you're a very selfless person, but not at the expense of your own health and happiness and your own needs. Like you have a really beautiful balance of what you need and what you can give to others. I think you are truly selfless in that way. And I think what makes you stand out is that you're just like a really awesome human being. And I think a lot of people really aspire to be like you and to be on your level, because it's just not every day that somebody is so with it. Like that's the best way I could describe it, is so with it. You are so with it. So let's go ahead and get into the tarot now. I did also want to mention we have 8 and 17. So like August 17th could be significant, or August in general. But I was thinking about 17 reducing to 8 in numerology, not regular math. So double 8s could be significant. Like you could be born in 1988. I don't think you were born in 1888. But I do think that 8s are significant because there's almost like this infinite part of you where like no matter where you're at in life, you will always bounce back, and you will always like come out of whatever you're dealing with thriving more than you were before. There's just a lot of respect and admiration for you all around. So this is the Mystical Dream Tarot. You could have really intense, really vivid dreams, or you could be the type of person who enjoys indulging in psychedelics in a very responsible way. Because I feel like here's the thing, like even if you have fun, you're really, really responsible about how you go about that. Like you're not out here being super reckless in any capacity. So let me, I don't know if I cut it into threes, so I'm gonna do that really quickly. So Spirit, what makes pile one shine? What really stands out about them? Okay, to start, we have the Nine of Pentacles. What else, Spirit? We have the Eight of Wands. Hecate could be a significant deity. I might be saying her name wrong, but you might be really connected to her. We also have the Ten of Wands. We have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, you're highly psychic, even if you don't realize it. We have the Emperor. And on the back of the deck, we have the Four of Pentacles, which I immediately have to go to Shrek, because this card just makes me think of Shrek with the onion here. Like I just think of onions having layers, and I definitely think that like maybe the way that you dress yourself, or maybe the way that you come off is like very simple or plain, but like that's maybe just because you don't really care that much about investing too much in your appearance. Like you're more fascinated and interested in different topics, and I think it's like there's so many layers to you, and only the luckiest of the lucky really get to see the deepest parts of you. Like you're the type of person who's only going to show people what you want them to see. And if you want people to see or think that there's nothing much to you, you're very good at projecting that image and kind of like keeping those sorts of people like out of sight, out of mind, out of your space and your energy. But I definitely think that people see you as someone incredibly successful, and I mean successful in the traditional sense, like doing well for themselves, either has a good job or has built a lot for themselves. They also find you to be somebody who doesn't give up. And I think a lot of people see you as incredibly inspirational. They also see you as somebody who is not all talk. Like what you say, like you back it up with your actions. Like you're not somebody who's just out here like saying whatever just to get people's approval or to seem bigger than you are. Like if anything, I think you play yourself down a little bit. Like you could almost be a little bit more full of yourself if you wanted to. But I also think that you are incredibly compassionate, but you don't extend that compassion to everybody. Like only the people most special to you really get that compassionate side to you, because maybe when you were like younger, you were the type of person to be very selfless to your own detriment, and it's like you've kind of learned how to reel that in and take it back, take your own power back. And I also think that you have a really healthy balance of feminine and masculine energy. Like you're somebody who can be really deep and sentimental and soft, but you also know how to like look at things realistically, get things done, and not allow your emotions to override the truth of a situation. I also think with the Nine of Pentacles here, people really admire your ability to stand in your independence. So for some of you, you may be like a single parent, or you just are happy being single, or if you do have a partner, I feel like you have a really healthy relationship with them where you have your own life outside of that relationship. I think people see you as somebody who is just like doing really well for themselves, and I'm not gonna lie, there's some people that are kind of jealous of that, but like you don't even pay attention to that. You're like, I don't care, like I did this for myself. Like If they want to be jealous, like, that's fine. I'm not even going to pay attention to that. Like, it's not worth your time, not worth your energy, and you just have a really, really healthy outlook in life. I also think that at times people may think that you're cold, or they may think that you don't care, but I think you're just very good at not exposing your emotions. Like, you're not the type of person who wears their heart on their sleeve. Like, you're definitely more guarded, and I think that's because a lot of people, like, you've just been through a lot, and so it's not as easy for you to just expose all those emotions. But I think you've also learned that in certain cases it's actually better to kind of keep those emotions concealed and express them once you're in a safer place. Excuse me. But I do think that also, like, you are the type of person who will speak their truth and be honest with somebody. Like, you're not going to sugarcoat things. You're not going to tell somebody something just because they want to hear it. Like, you're going to be completely honest. Okay, this is not an 18+ reading, but I'll say it. Spirit just showed me, like, somebody, like, asking you, like, if you were in a physical situation, for example, if they're like, did you finish? Like, you'll be honest whether if you did or not. Like, you're not afraid to be like, no, or whatever. Like, you will be completely honest. And I think what's really special, though, is that you're not the type of person to be honest to the point that, like, you're hurting other people. Like, there's definitely a difference between being honest and being so honest that it's, like, hurtful to others. I think that you're very considerate of others' feelings, and you're honest to a point where it's not like you're being mean or cruel. You know what I mean? Like, you can be honest without being mean. Like, you can be kind and honest. I also think that you just have this very badass energy where you're not going to concede your dreams or desires to make other people happy. And I think that other people really look up to you for that. Like, even if you have a family, like, even if you're established in life, like, you don't give up on your dreams. Like, if there's something that you dreamed about when you were like 10 and you're like 50 now and you still haven't gotten to do it, you're not giving up on it. Like, you're like, no, it's like, I'm still gonna keep working towards it. I'm still gonna make it happen in my own way. And you trust that the universe will help you make that happen. And I think, honestly, you're like fine wine, because you just get better with age. Like, Spirit, come on. Like, okay, you might be a MILF or a DILF or a GILF. For some of you, this wasn't an 18+ reading, I'm so sorry. But I do think that you just really own your power, and you also own, like, your sexuality, and you own the fact that, like, you're gonna do you, and you're not going to let other people hold you back or tear you down. And I also think with the 10 of Wands, you have an amazing capacity to handle stress and to handle a lot of things at once. You could be very organized, or just the type of person who likes to be go, 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 or likes to take a lot of responsibility. That might be something that makes you happy or just makes you feel fulfilled. And at times you may realize that you're doing a little bit too much, but I think you always know how to reel it back at the end of the day and, like, focus on you again. I think that there's a part of you that genuinely enjoys having a lot of responsibility and genuinely enjoys, like, caring for others and making things happen. I also think there's a part of you that may not trust other people to do as good of a job as you can do. So I do think that part of that energy as well is like, well, if I don't do it, then I don't trust anyone else to do it well or do it correctly, so I'm just gonna do it myself. Like, you're a very DIY type person, I think, and I think that you really enjoy taking on projects and being creative in that way. There's like a practical creativity to you where you may not be out here making the most, like, flashy art projects, but I could definitely see you being the type of person to, like, redo your kitchen yourself, or to do projects that have some sort of functional use attached to them. I also think that you're very good at making decisions. You're not the type of person to be super indecisive. It's like you really trust your own inner guidance at this point in life, and you don't let others' opinions dissuade you. You trust what your internal guidance is saying, and you take action towards that. You could also, for some of you, be like very athletically inclined, or at the very least just enjoy doing something physical. If that's the case, like I could see that maybe people like at your gym or the people that you do like exercise with, they could really want to, I just heard one up. So like you may notice people like trying to be on your level or people trying to one up you. And I think that you just like laugh and you're just like, okay, like I'm just here to work out and feel good. Like I'm not here to be in high school and like compete with you weirdos. Like you really are just like, you keep to yourself, and like what is not your business, like you're not going to get into. You really have learned from your past mistakes, and I think more than anything, people just respect you. They respect who you are, and they trust your opinions, they trust your guidance, and they trust what you're doing in life. And I noticed the camera is shaking a lot, so I don't know if this camera stand is gonna work, but I guess we'll have to see. But we are going to go ahead and finish off this reading with just some positive guidance for you. So this could have something to do with the reading, or it could have nothing to do with the reading. I just wanted to kind of leave you with something, just a little something. So I'm going to give these one more good shuffle. Okay, so Spirit, what positive guidance do you have for pile 1 moving forward in their journey of life, please? Okay. So to start, we have heal. Allow yourself time to heal. Be kind to yourself right now. Yeah, so if you're going through anything and you're like using work or responsibilities as an excuse to kind of escape that healing, I do think Spirit is encouraging you to take time to slow down and rest and regenerate. We also have wealth. Money is on its way to you. Think thoughts of abundance. So we love to see that. And we also have you're deserving. Accept the good. You deserve it. Reject the bad. You deserve more. And on the back of the deck, we have good vibrations. You're vibrating at a high level. Use this to your advantage. The law of attraction will work very effectively for you right now. I do notice a lot of yellow here. So I think that your solar plexus chakra is your most powerful chakra. And I think you need to have more confidence in who you are. You may be unnecessarily hard on yourself, but that's not something that other people notice or other people see, which is why it didn't really come through in the reading. But pile 1, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. If you want to check out Lexi's video, that will be linked down below. Be sure to send her some love and see why people fall in love with you. If you'd like to support me or the channel in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out my merch, which is linked below, as well as my social medias, which are linked below as well. But do be aware that there are a lot of scammers impersonating me, especially on Instagram. So I do not offer personal readings, and I will not solicit personal readings from you via DMs or things like that. But I think that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for letting me read your cards. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 2. If you guys chose this Celestite stone and the Ascension Tarot, this is going to be your reading. But before we get into the tarot, we're going to go ahead and start by looking at a few oracles to just get some info about you. So to start, we have the Destroyer, we have Sekhmet with Reduction, and we have Hades with Death. Then we also have Left Out with the Wolves. We also have Dolphin. We have I Am Determined, number 42. And we have the Porcupine. Okay, well, what I have to say right off the bat, pile 2, you guys are so badass. Like, you may look cute and cuddly on the outside, but you are a force to be reckoned with, and you can really see it in this card with these fierce eyes. You are like a warrior, or like you have a warrior energy to you, and this may not be a role that you initially liked or a role that you initially wanted to have, but it was the role that the universe made for you, and oh man, do you wear it well. I definitely think that people are, for lack of a better term, shooketh by your transformations, by how your life changes and shifts. And also, I think that people see you as somebody not to mess with. Like, you are not somebody that people are going to, you know, do their bullshit with, if that makes sense. You are somebody who has such a powerful energy, and you have reached this point in life where you are not going to let anything or anyone stick around if it's not serving you, if it's not bringing you happiness. You also have, for quite a few of you, a pretty fierce temper, and it may not come out very often, and you may not be like very expressive with that energy, but like, people do not want to cross you, because I think that you're somebody who, like, if you cross you, as the Sirens say, like, the pettier part of you might want to put someone in the hospital, but you're not going to do that, I hope. I think it's more so that you just have no interest in resurrecting things from the past. Like, once something has served its purpose, you're like, okay, that's all I needed, I'm done, I can move on. We have Capricorn energy here, and we also have water energy with the dolphin, which is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And I want to make no mistake, there's a really amazing part of you that is sweet and compassionate and very, very in tune with energies. You could be a healer of some kind, or be dedicated to your healing journey. There's a part of you that's very intuitive and soft and sentimental, but you're not the type of person to linger in the past. I think that when it comes to these, I just heard like empathic abilities, so you could be an empath, or you could just be very emotionally in tune with others. You also have street smarts, and you're very, very intuitively intelligent and very emotionally intelligent. But I think that you have learned a lot of really tough lessons, and as a result, you have built up this very powerful, I don't even want to say persona, but it's just like you've become a very powerful person. Like, you're not afraid. You've faced your worst fears, so you're not afraid of losing anything or anyone. You have fully surrendered to what the universe has to show you. And I think part of the reason why you're so okay with these sorts of energies is I think that people really took advantage of you when you were younger, or you were around like really shady people, or like really, you were left in really difficult circumstances that you had to navigate on your own. Like, you were this cat with wolves, and so you learned how to take on this energy of a wolf. Even if you're like this sweet, cuddly little dolphin on the inside, you don't show that to everyone. You're not the type of person to let people walk all over you, to let people disrespect you. I also think that you're very protective of yourself, of the people that you love, and I think that people probably see you as somebody a little bit closed off, as somebody a little bit guarded, but they also see you as somebody not to cross. I also think that you're an incredibly hard worker, and I think that a lot of your time and energy goes into your work. You are somebody that does not give up on goals. Like, you will see them to the end, and if what you've been working towards isn't working, you'll destroy it, scrap it, and start over. You'll start fresh. There is like an intensity to you where you're not afraid to face the darker sides of life. So you could do something with like I'm getting 12th house energy. Like, you could do something with like prison systems or mental health. You could do like mental health care, or you could literally like work in the medical field or work in like hospice care for some of you. You've definitely seen a lot of difficult situations, and I don't think all of them have been yours, but I do think that you have had some difficult situations to deal with at a young age, and as a result you've developed this really tough exterior. Like, you're not the type of person who is going to linger in something when it doesn't serve them anymore. And you really have developed this outer energy where people almost know, like, not to come towards you with any sort of BS, to not come towards you with anything that is like gonna annoy you or like piss you off. Like, people, like, if you communicate to people what your pet peeves are, they're not going to do them around you, because they're not going to want to deal with like what you say or do once you kind of snap, you know what I mean? I think a lot of people are really shocked by the transformations that you've had. Whoever you were when you were young, you're nothing like that now. And I think that there's a lot of people who wish they were still in your life that you've cut out. And I feel like you just have no time for any of that. You're like, okay, so like, they already had their chance, they lost it, I'm done, goodbye. And I think that there's this really beautiful aspect to you where people might fear you, but you really do things out of love. I think that there's just a lot of people who don't really understand that. You're definitely not somebody that people will try to like swindle or I can't find the right word, but I guess what I'm trying to say is like you expect nothing less but the best, and the people that interact with you know that and know to adhere to that. I think it's interesting that you picked the Ascension Tarot, because I do think that you've been on this long path of ascension for a really long time, and you do have this kind of queen bee energy where it's like nobody else needs to acknowledge you as that, but like, you are the queen bee in your own life, you know what you deserve, and you're a hard worker. Like, you could be almost like a queen bee and a worker bee in one. Like, you kind of do it all, and you're not afraid to get, like, I have to keep repeating it, like, you're not afraid to get rid of anything that doesn't serve you. You could be a little bit impatient, and I do think that certain people are like afraid to disappoint you or afraid to make you upset. But I think that that's more like an intimidation thing. Like, you're not the type of person who's just going to be mean to someone because you feel like it, or you're going to pick on someone because they seem weak. I think that you are somebody who has a lot of compassion for the underdog, for the little guy, because you were once there and you know what that's like. I also think that with the Dolphin card here, like, your perception of other people is absolutely immaculate. Like, you know who is sketchy, who you might want to stay away from, you know who is good to be around. And the second anyone brings any energy to your life where, like, even if they were good vibes before, if they start bringing bad vibes, you're like, nope, I'm out, like, I'm done. You could be really into like action movies, or you could be fascinated by like fight scenes or something like that. I just feel like with this armor, like, you protect yourself very well, and you're incredibly protective of your loved ones. And so I feel like by proxy, your loved ones are also very safe, because nobody wants to mess with anything connected to you. You are such a fierce energy, but like, nobody really sees those sweet, softer sides of you unless you choose to show them. I feel like for a lot of you, you may have had to grow up really quickly, or you could have been like an older sibling where you were kind of expected to take on a lot of responsibility. And I also think that you're the type of person who just isn't entitled at all. Like, whenever life throws a curveball your way or something difficult, you're like, okay, like, it is what it is. Like, you're not somebody who toils over that and wonders like, why did this happen? Or you're not a woe is me type of person, I guess is the best way I can explain that. Like, you're not gonna be throwing a pity party for yourself. You are ready to deal with whatever comes your way. And like, I definitely think that that is really indicative of your warrior energy, because you are so like, you're not somebody who is on offense. Like, you're always on defense. Like, you're not somebody who's out here trying to be aggressive towards others. you are just a warrior in the sense of self-defense. Like, you're gonna protect you, you're gonna protect your loved ones, your family, the people you care about, and you're gonna protect your dreams, whatever it is that you're going after. And anybody that tries to threaten any of that, look out, because you're not one to be trifled with. And I really think too, like, you may be misunderstood by certain people. Like, you do kind of have this tough persona, and so people might see you that way, or they might feel like you don't have much emotional intelligence, but you're the exact opposite. It's just like you don't share that sort of thing with just anyone. Like, you're very... I do have to comment. I just get this swelling in my heart. You are such a sweetheart underneath all of that. You just don't want to admit it sometimes. I think sometimes, like, you like to think that you're like, oh, like, I'm a badass, like, nobody can fuck with me, like, blah, like, but really underneath all that, you're, like, so sweet and so compassionate. And, like, okay, this is a really random message, but if you have a younger sister specifically, it could be a younger sibling, but I'm getting specifically a sister, they look up to you so much, and they just absolutely love and adore you. Like, you are their hero, and, like, you are their, like, their icon, their legend. And this could actually be through an in-law. So, like, if, for example, if you're married, like, this could be like your spouse's younger sister as well. So this doesn't have to be like a family thing. It could just be somebody that you see as like a sister, or you see as someone that you take care of and that you nurture. I definitely think that people really look up to you. They see you as somebody who is safe. Like, you're the type of person who's not gonna go around like talking crap. Like, if somebody tells you a secret, your secret is safe with them. If somebody is like having problems, you're gonna tell them like it is, and you're gonna tell them straight. I do think that one thing that people might find a little bit frustrating about you, and I say this with peace and love, is that you're not very like, you don't really believe in like fairy tales very often. I think that that's because you've had like, which obviously fairy tales aren't real, but I feel like you have a hard time trusting the universe in the sense that they'll bring you good things, or that like really magical serendipitous things can happen. And I think that's just because you've kind of gone to the school of hard knocks, and you've dealt with a lot of difficulties in life. And I feel like you've dealt with a lot of energies that have caused you to fight and have caused you to deal with this energy where you have to be conservative and like protect yourself and what's around you. And so it's like, you might see people out here that are just very like casual and like, you know, maybe very like Piscean in the sense that they look at things through rose-colored glasses. I think you look at things through almost like death-colored glasses. Like, you look at things through kind of like a darkness filter, where you're like, okay, you're always looking for the funny business in anything. Like, you don't trust things on first glance. And so I think that you can definitely be like maybe more critical, or if you have friends or people around you that are very like hopeless, like romantics or something like that, it may be hard for them to tell you things, because you don't play into anyone's delusions or play into anyone's like fantasies very much. And I think that's because you've just had a very difficult reality at times. And I think that you have like the ability to dream and the ability to wish for good things, but I think that your expectations stay pretty low, because you also have an awareness that the universe like delivers desires and delivers manifestations in ways that we don't expect. And I feel like you've had to face some of your darkest fears and some of the most difficult trials that other people just couldn't even imagine. And so I feel like at times you get a bad rap because you may not like play into what somebody is fantasizing about or dreaming about. And like, you may find that the people around you kind of prove you wrong sometimes, and prove to you that there is benefit in seeing the world that way, but like you're just not wired that way. And you know, you shouldn't feel bad about that, and I'm sorry if people shame you for that, but it's your own experiences. And I think that people are kind of, the people around you just kind of know, like, they can't tell you about their woo fantasies, you know what I mean? Like, well, they can, but you just may not be able to relate, and you may not be able to give the responses they want. Because if there's one thing that's true about you, is that you're true to yourself, and like, you're not going to tell people what they want to hear. You're going to tell people what they need to hear, and they may not like that. But you can definitely destroy illusions, and it might make people mad at you. But I think that overall, it comes from a place of love. It comes from a place of like, I want the best for you, and so I'm not gonna let you get too far into this fantasy and like hurt yourself. And so I think that while people might at first be very upset with you or angry with you, when the dust kind of settles, they recognize why you had to do that. You play a very necessary role in the lives of the people around you, where you keep it real. Like, you do not, you are the one that's up here where people are like, you know, playing into somebody's fantasies and desires. You're gonna be that one that says, okay, but what about this? Have you considered XYZ? Like, you have this practical and logical side to you that I think is very important, that people that are very fantastical and very whimsical may find as like a dream killer or a vibe killer. But it's very important that you play that role in their lives, because I think otherwise they wouldn't have anyone to kind of be that source for them. And the thing is that you are good at sussing out energy. So like, when something good happens to the people that you care about, it's not like you're like raining on their parade or things like that. It's just that you can feel energy in a very acute level. And I think that you know when people are kind of full of shit, and so you'll be honest and be like, nah, I don't trust this, or nah, like you'd be that type of person on 90 Day Fiance, like one of your friends is on it and you're the one that's saying like, okay, but have you considered XYZ? Like, you haven't even FaceTimed them yet. Like, how do you know they're real? Like, you're that type of person who is going to give someone the honest truth, not because you're trying to rain on their parade or make them feel bad. You just want them to be aware of maybe what they're not paying attention to, and you want to protect them. You want to make sure that they're okay. And if people get mad at you for that, like, you don't take it personally, because I think you also recognize that a lot of like hostility that comes your way is more so just projection and people's discomfort with your comfort with the darker side of the world. Like, I feel like you almost find comfort in the world of misfits and rejects and underdogs. Like, that's kind of where you thrive. And I almost feel like you're kind of like a leader, in the sense that you really maybe take people that are similar to you under your wing and kind of help them in a way that you weren't helped growing up. And I think that a lot of people are really grateful for that. Like, a lot of people in your life kind of view you as a blessing in disguise, where you bring about this like angelic protection. Like, there's a lot of angelic protection around you, actually. Like, with this Celestite, I get that a lot. But you're not out here like coddling people. Like, you operate the way the universe does, in the sense that you're not going to explain why you're doing something, but you are going to act in the people that you love's best interests. And they may not understand why, or they may not relate to it, or they might feel hurt by it, but you don't let that stop you, because ultimately you only take action in those instances when you know it's going to be best for them, and you know that they could get themselves hurt, or that they could be in a situation that's not very safe. Like, you're just that type of person who is going to look out for people whether they like it or not, and you will rip the rug out from underneath someone because you've had that experience yourself just from the universe, and you don't want them to have it ripped out underneath them in a much more difficult way. It's like you see disasters or tower moments on the horizon, and you're able to step in before that happens, and as a result, people might be upset at you. but you care about them too much just to let them go about what they're doing and have this tower moment happen anyway. And I feel like you've kind of tested this out, where like you've had experiences where you haven't intervened and you haven't said anything, and then that person be like, I wish you would have said something, or I wish I would have known. And it's like you've seen people learn lessons the hard way, and I think you've learned a lot of lessons the hard way. So if you can save anyone from having to learn a lesson the hard way, you will. And I think that that is just really cool, in the sense that like the way that you show care for others is not necessarily how other people would desire it, but it's how you do it. And like if you're gonna be in their life, like they need to accept that. And I think people do. Like the people that know you and truly love you understand that it comes from a good place. Like they're not viewing you as somebody who like just wants to ruin their fun or something like that. You really genuinely do come from a good place. So we're gonna go ahead and get deeper into the tarot now. I really hope it doesn't get dark before I'm done with this reading. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. I also think that you have kind of a sneaky energy where like people only know what you tell or show them. Like there's such a deep inner world to you that nobody really knows about unless you share it with them. And I think that you have a really beautiful imagination and a really beautiful mind that, if I'm being honest, like this is just my opinion, but I think you could share it more often. I think that you have a really unique perspective, and I think maybe one thing the universe is encouraging you to do is to show people your softer side more often, because you'd be surprised how well received it could be. So Spirit, what else makes Pyle to stand out from the crowd? Okay, we have the Six of Cups. So I feel like you have some ride or die best friends that like you've been through thick and thin with. Okay. We also have number 22, Unconditional Love, which is a extra card in this deck. We also have the Six of Swords. This is a really beautiful energy, actually. We also have the Hanged Man with Perspective. You understand universal energy, let me just say. We also have the Three of Wands and the Two of Wands. And on the back of the deck, we have the Empress. So you have a very well-refined feminine energy. Monarch butterflies could be significant because they're showing up a lot. Even if you outwardly portray a lot of masculine energy, you come through as a very, like, you nurture in your own way, I guess is what I can say. And with this Unconditional Love card being here, I feel like this is really confirming that you do have a lot of angelic protection around you. And I think that you have a really good connection to your inner child. Like sometimes you may surprise people how you can like let loose and have fun. But I also think that you play a very necessary role in helping people grow up. You understand universal energy in the sense that unconditional love from the universe may not always show up in a way that people may like it. Like you've experienced the unconditional love from the universe through difficult lessons that ended up being in your highest good. It's like the universe ripped things away from you to change your perspective, and you've almost become a divine channel for doing the same thing for others. And it's like others kind of have to trust you because you've been there, done that. Like you've already, like they know you're coming from a place of wisdom and experience. And I feel like you're somebody who can really trust the universe and the natural cycles of the universe. You could be really connected to the earth or water in general. I do think that you might surprise people with your ability to be nurturing and caring, but you almost kind of have this energy that's similar to Kali Ma. She is a Hindu goddess, and you know she is a divine feminine goddess and is unconditionally loving, but she's a very powerful goddess who is not going to coddle anyone or cater to their whims. She's going to remove people if they are not in their highest good. She is going to protect people and in the way that she wants to. Like, she's a motherly goddess in the sense that she will protect her children however they need to be protected. It doesn't matter what they want. She's going to do what they need. And I feel like that's kind of what you do as well. I also think that you have an exceptional ability to move forward in life. Like, you really leave the past in the past, but you don't let go of the things that still matter. Like with the Six of Cups and the Six of Swords here, you're able to grow beyond your lessons, but I think you still have a soft spot for like things that bring you nostalgia. And there may be people from your childhood where like they are your ride or dies, or like, what's that noise? I just heard a beeping, but anyway, you're that type of person who is like not going to, okay, am I going crazy? I'm sorry, I'm just hearing like a beeping noise that's kind of distracting. But I don't think it's coming from my place. I definitely feel like the universe has turned your world upside down many times from an unconditionally loving place. And so it's like you have this deep understanding that like there's always a method to the universe's madness. And you trust that if you have to like bring a truth bomb to someone, or if you have to be honest with people, you know that once their perspective changes, they'll forgive you or they'll get over it and you'll be able to move past it. There's a real deep wisdom within you where it's like, you don't try to force the universe to cater to your whims. You kind of work with the energies you're given and trust that there is a higher purpose for every single thing that you do or experience. I also think there's a real wanderlust within you. Like, people might see that you have the desire to travel, or you might be that type of person where people really like you could be that type of person who has a really long like bucket list, a really ambitious person. And I think people see you as very brave and they really admire your perspective. And the interesting thing with the Two of Wands here, the Two of Wands often talks about like planning and things like that, but I don't think you're really a planner. I think that you might make like vague plans or general plans, but I don't think you're the type of person to be like very type A, like meticulous about it. Like, it's almost like your plan is to just not really have much of a plan and just trust that the universe is going to make things happen. I think you're incredibly creative as well, like I was saying. But your creations may be very unique and not something that you share with everyone. If you're a parent, I think people see you as like a really fierce parent, a really fierce guardian. I think that your children, like if you have children, they do not want to, like they know to be respectful. They know not to test your patience at times. And I think what's really beautiful is that you do have the capacity for unconditional love. You understand the universe's unconditional love. And I think that when you teach people in your life really difficult lessons, they start to learn and understand unconditional love for themselves. Like, I almost want to cry right now because like, it hasn't been easy for you at all. And like, I think you're very aware of that. And like the people around you have been very aware of that. But it's like, you always reach a point where even if you don't understand why the universe is doing something, you understand it eventually. And you're just like humbled by the immense amount of love that the universe has for you. And you may have felt like when you were younger growing up that the universe didn't really like care about you, or that you were forgotten, or that you didn't matter. And it's like, you really are the type of person to, I hate this phrase, but I can't think of a better one, like pull yourself up by your bootstraps and like get things done. Like, you have such an ability to get things done. Like, you're the type of person that can literally move mountains. Like, you are amazing. And I think part of it is that when it comes to your growth, when it comes to how you approach life, like you don't approach life from a very egoic perspective. I think that when people, like, you may express your ego at times, but I think that like you're not the type of person to allow like a bruised ego to like set you off. You know what I mean? I feel like you're very gracious and very generous, and it's really interesting because there's so much feminine energy coming through here, but the way you express it is very masculine almost. And maybe that's because you were raised in like a family that wasn't very accepting of emotions, or you just learned from a young age not to express emotions. Like maybe it was unsafe, or you felt like they wouldn't be validated or heard. But I do think that people see what makes you stand out is like, even though you have this fierce side, it's like the wisdom that comes behind this fierceness, I think just almost shakes people to their core, because I think a lot of people misunderstand you, and then once they see your true colors and like who you truly are, it's like they almost have to like do a double take, because they're like, oh my god, I completely misjudged pile 2. And like with this dolphin card, I really feel like these Ascension cards, these tarot cards, they really reflect your inner self. And I think what really makes you stand out is that what you see on the surface is not what you get. Like people are so surprised by you, and I would be willing to bet that like most people's first impressions of you are wrong. Like you seem like the type of person who has like RBF, which is, if you don't know, like resting bitch face, where people might be like, at first I thought that you were like mean, or that like you didn't like me, but then once I got to know you, like I realized you were really awesome and really kind. Like you're not the type of person to tear people down. Like you're not a jealous person by any means. I feel like you just have this deep trust in the universe, because I think if it's not the universe, it's either a deep trust in yourself, a deep trust in the universe, or both. Because I think you've realized you and the universe are the only two people that you can trust yourself to count on. And you might trust other people in different ways, but it's like you don't rely or depend on anyone. And I think that while there is this really sweet, playful side to you, you're not gonna be somebody who's like coddling people and allowing delusions to go further than they need to. Like there's just a zero tolerance policy for that. And I think what a lot of people notice about you is either that you're well-traveled, like I was saying earlier, or you're very cultured. Like you might be very fascinated by different cultures. You may be very passionate about like philanthropic work in other countries, or doing things to benefit humanity on a global scale. Like I feel like you're not somebody, I mean, you could be patriotic, but I feel like you're more so like, you care about humans. You don't care about what country someone's from. You don't care about what walk of life, what socioeconomic class somebody's from. I think that you're truly accepting of all walks of life. Like you judge people based on their energy, not based on what they're wearing or what they're doing. And I think as a result, you leave this very positive impact on people, where one, they have to face like their incorrect judgments, because I do think that a lot of people misunderstand you off the cuff. But then two, I think that you show people that love can come through in so many different forms, and that there's no one way of expressing love. And while your love languages may be different from most people's, or from the people that you're typically around, like you're able to show people that there's different ways of expressing love. And I think your transformation, the person that you've become, is just one that is so endearing and so like inspiring is the right word. And I also think you could have like tattoos, or really meaningful tattoos, that kind of like give insight to what you've been through, or give insight to what you've overcome. And I think like if you have a specific tattoo artist, I think you're like one of their favorite clients or something like that, which is a random message. But I definitely think that people who misjudge you like have to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, damn, like maybe I'm not as open-minded as I thought. Like you are more open-minded than people realize. And I think one really, really awesome thing about you is that you're always looking to the future. You're always looking ahead. Like you're not looking back and reflecting on things that don't serve you. Like you might in terms of like needing to heal something, but you leave the past in the past. And I feel like you make a real effort to only hold on to the memories that bring you value and happiness. Like you're not out here like holding on to the people that wronged you. You're not someone to hold on to grudges. You're the type of person who forgives but doesn't forget. Like you may let someone let someone off the hook, but you may not necessarily let them back into your life. And I think that people see you as a force to be reckoned with and somebody not to mess with, because you can be honest in a way that's really cutting towards people, and it's like you're not doing it to be insulting or to hurt people. You're just being real and you're just being yourself. And I think that there is a bit of you're kind of a vagabond in the sense that like you may like to move a lot, or you may like to experience different, am I saying that word right? Vagabond, something like that. Where you may be just like really passionate about exploring new places. And I think that one really interesting thing about you is like you could be in like some of the most dangerous parts of the world, but like you know you're safe, like you know you're good, like you can trust your intuition. Like even if you're in a place where you don't speak the language, you read people's energies, you know whether they're trustworthy or not. And like even when you're afraid, nobody can tell. Like you have such a solid aura and such a solid energy that like you can handle any challenges that come your way. And I think a lot of people just admire and respect you because when they see the world through your eyes, they understand that it hasn't been easy to get here. They understand that your journey has not been very linear. It's definitely been all over the place, and there have been crazy ups and downs, but you've come out of it such an amazing human being who has truly grown from their circumstances and does not allow the circumstances or the cards that you've been dealt to hold you back or hinder you. Like you work with what you have, and you don't use the excuse of not having enough to be a hindering factor in your growth and success. And I think that the universe is just always conspiring for your highest good, not only because it loves you, but also because you know that it is. And you have a lot of angelic love and support around you. And I feel like the unconditional love that you give, not only to yourself, but the people around you, is something that's so very needed in the people around you's lives, and for yourself to remind yourself that like you do bring value, and that even though your perspective may be different, it's not bad. Like you have a wonderful perspective that's very much needed, and not everyone may understand that, but you don't need people to understand you. At the end of the day, you just want to protect others and protect yourself and protect what's important, and you're not going to let the fear of being misunderstood or the fear of being judged stop you from that. Like you're a force to be reckoned with, Pile 2, and I just think your energy is absolutely amazing and freaking immaculate. So we're going to go ahead and finish off this reading with a little bit of advice. I'm just going to use these positive guidance cards. They may have nothing to do with the reading, but I just felt like it would be good to finish this reading off with a little something for you. So, Spirit, what advice do you have for Pile 2? Count your rainbows, not your thunderstorms. This card urges you to focus on the positive. What you think about is what you bring about. So maybe at times you struggle to be in a positive mindset, but I feel like you're really good at checking that. We also have focus. Remain completely focused on exactly what you want. The best is yet to come. And yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like you could possibly be more open to more fantastical and whimsical energy. Like it might be good for you almost to kind of walk a mile in the daydreamer's shoes. Like not that you don't daydream, but I feel like at times you may feel like your dreams aren't actually things that you can accomplish. And I feel like Spirit is saying, no, you can. Like you're powerful. We also have you're glowing. You're glowing from the inside out. So choose to feel good about yourself. You will only attract positive people, circumstances, and opportunities by doing so. And on the back of the deck, we have good vibrations. You're vibrating at a high level. Use this to your advantage. The law of attraction will work very effectively for you right now. And I saw this earlier when I was shuffling, so I thought it would be relevant to keep it. It says, forgive, whether in person or in your mind, forgive and move forward. The only person you're hurting by holding on to this resentment is yourself, which I think you do. You do a lot of this. I feel like this advice is just reminding you who the fuck you are. Like, you are pile 2. You are so powerful, and like, you can achieve so much more than you think. Like, life isn't always doom and gloom, and like, while you've been through a lot and your perspective is valuable, it's okay to dream and to think positively. So pile 2, I'm gonna leave this reading here. Be sure to go check out Lexi the Leo's reading if you want to see what it is that makes people fall in love with you. But I do just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me, but if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video. You can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little bell notification to be part of my notification squad. If you'd like to support me or the channel in other ways than I just listed, you can check out my merch, as well as my social media. All those links will be down below. Though do be aware, there's a lot of scammers impersonating me on Instagram. I do not offer personal readings, and my only social media is linked below. So if it's not linked below, it's not mine. The scammers do try to emulate my Instagram, so just be aware, be safe. I feel like with this pile, I don't even really need to say that, but you know, just in case. So thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards. I really hope that this reading resonated. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 3. If you guys chose this beautiful citrine point and the Star Power Tarot, this is going to be your reading on what makes you shine. So before we get into the tarot, I'm going to start by just looking at a few oracles to get an idea of you just straight out the gate. So to start, we have the Mountain. We have Bast with Play. Nuada with Perfection. We have Ripe Fruits, Panther. We have I Am Worthy. And we have Blue Jay and Cardinal. Wow, okay. Whew, you have a very powerful energy, pile 3. I'm honestly like really impressed by your energy. I just have to say that you're the best, and there is no other person like you. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm done now. But I have to talk about how many 3s are in here. Starting up here with the Mountain, we have 33. We also have 33 with Ripe Fruits, and we have 3 with I Am Worthy. So you could be a life path 33. You could be born in March or be born on the 3rd of a specific month. You certainly don't have to be, but I do think of the number 3 as like Empress energy. And I definitely think, you know, no matter who you are physically, energetically, I think you have a very down-to-earth but feminine presence. But with this feminine presence, like, I don't mean feminine presence in the sense that like you show up as very feminine. I just mean like you have a very feminine energy in terms of how you manifest abundance, and also how you kind of work with life. Because let's be real, even though you're feminine, you're very fierce. Not that femininity can't be fierce, but you may also be the type of person who feels like they need to elaborate a lot, because I feel like I'm like having to add like things onto what I'm saying. But I just heard a formidable opponent. So I feel like you may attract people who are threatened or intimidated by you. And I feel like your journey towards self-worth, your journey towards becoming who you are, has been a lot like climbing a mountain. And it's like you're kind of finally on top of the mountain. Like you are standing on top of the world almost. Like you have gone through so many struggles. And I think it's through your struggles and coming through them that you truly realized that you were always worthy, that you were always special, that you always mattered. And I think you're learning to embrace not only the parts of you that you like, but the parts of you that maybe you wish you could change, or that you feel like you're not as satisfied with, and recognizing that they're just a part of the masterpiece that is you. you are so formidable. Like, that is the word that wants to keep coming through. And I definitely see you as somebody who is a natural leader, even if you're not the type of person to kind of go after leadership roles. I think leadership roles kind of find you. And I think that you're at this point in life where you're reaping a lot of the benefits of the hard work that you've been putting in the past few years. And I think you're realizing through all of this, like, oh wow, I was always worthy, and like I always was like when you were on the bottom of this mountain, you may have felt like you needed to achieve and succeed in order to feel like you're truly worth it. And now you're like, oh wow, I've been so incredibly hard on myself. And I think the more that you have kind of embraced your success and embraced where you're headed in life, I think that you're almost like getting younger with age. It's like maybe you were very serious when you were young, and now I feel like it's like you've kind of learned a lot of the rules of life and how to go about things. And so now you're kind of able to let your hair down a little bit and have more fun. One thing that I like as well is that you are not a person to mess with the Panther here, as well as Nuada. Like, I think that most people, not most people, but anyone who may step on your toes or treat you in a way that's not right, I feel like you can really speak your truth and be very cutthroat. Like, it's kind of an intense energy, and it's an interesting juxtaposition because you do have this softness and this playful, really fun side. There's a lot of feline energy here, so you might resonate with being like a Lyran starseed or something like that. We do have fire here, so you could be an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, but you certainly don't have to be, but you can have those placements. One thing that I think is really cool about you is that you may have a very particular aesthetic, or you may have two very contrasting aesthetics that work really well with you, or you just look fly all the time. Like with this Blue Jay and Cardinal card being here, I definitely see you as somebody that people look to for like style inspiration, or they see you as somebody who styles themselves very well. And I also feel like you're just learning to own and embrace who you are. Like, you're being unapologetically pile 3, like, and you're recognizing that you're the real deal. And I love that you picked the Star Power Tarot, because it's like you're starting to see your own star power. I could also see kind of Aquarius energy being in this as well. And with ripe fruits here, you could be maybe more voluptuous. You certainly don't have to be, but I do think that people notice either you take a lot of pride in your appearance, or you work very hard like on your physical appearance for some of you. And if it's not like working on your physical appearance, I think that you just are very successful in terms of like reaping the fruits of your labor. And even if you don't feel that way, I definitely think other people see you that way. I think one thing that you struggle with maybe is people putting you on a pedestal. You may feel like sometimes that you may feel like alienated sometimes, where people just feel like they're not on your level, and as a result, they don't necessarily treat you the same way they would treat other people. Maybe they can't be more upfront and honest with you, or maybe they just feel like you might be judging them for the silliest little things. But I definitely feel like you need to know that the gifts that you are given by the universe are gifts, and that you really are the real deal. Like, I love that you picked this citrine too, because this is actually like natural citrine. I'm not sure if you're aware, but a lot of citrine is actually heat treated amethyst, which I guess it's still legitimate as citrine, but like this is real legit, like got out of the ground citrine. And I feel like you are the real deal. Like, you were born this way. You were born to be this person. And even if you didn't always have these qualities growing up, you've grown into them. Like, for example, you may have not resonated with your sun sign growing up, and then like as you get older, you may realize that you kind of embrace your sun sign more and more as you age. You could also be, for some of you, like really tall, and that's part of the reason why you stand out. Or maybe you like live somewhere really high up. I also think that you just have these really high goals, and maybe in the past or even currently there are people that doubt you, and it's like now they have no choice but to like believe in you and trust your legitimacy because you prove so many people wrong. And I think you've realized too, like, life doesn't have to be so serious. Like, maybe you took life really seriously in the past, and I feel like now you're just realizing how many things are just not worth your energy and not worth your time. I really feel like you're focused on your bag and you're focused on doing what's best for you. You're not in this state where you feel like you need to be grinding to prove something to somebody else. You're everything that you do is because you're in competition with yourself. Like, you're not competing with other people. You're not worried about what other people are doing. You stay in your own lane. And I think that people, like even strangers, can feel your presence, can feel your confidence. And you might be like, I'm not very confident, but it's a silent, like it's a more quiet confidence, you know what I mean? Where it's like, energetically speaking, there's not a lot of doubt. Like, I feel like when you speak your mind, you speak it well. I feel like anybody that's close to you, like your loved ones, if anyone messes with them, they better watch out, because I definitely think that you are somebody who is not afraid to speak your mind and not afraid to call people out or say what's up. I feel like people see you as somebody very fierce, and there might be people that are afraid of you, I'm not gonna lie. But you know your worth. Like, Bast is really connected to cat energy, and I really think you just kind of have this natural like regalness where you know your worth, you know your value, and at times you may feel like, am I really worthy of like all the stuff that I'm cultivating or of the blessings that the universe has given me? And it's like, yes, like you were meant for this. And you might feel like, you may have felt like in the past, like something about your physical appearance made it so that you weren't worthy of good things, or that you thought you would never. For some of you, I'm hearing like maybe you have or had like a speech impediment, and that was something that like made you feel really insecure, made you feel like you couldn't speak your truth, or it made you insecure to speak up. I feel like maybe that's something that you've been healing if you have that. But anything where you just felt like it was a flaw of yours, I feel like you've learned to embrace those sorts of things as just parts of you and not look at them as things that are wrong with you. And I really do think you have this really beautiful energy at this point in your life where you do not let people walk all over you. You will speak your mind. You will speak your truth. You will stand up for what you believe in. And I think that anybody that's in your life really trusts you to not only be real with them, but to also like have their back. And you kind of have a ride or die sort of energy. And you may have like a very specific best friend or close like confidant, and I think that people notice your strong connection to them as well. Like, you might have had people in your past like jealous of this connection that you have with, like, it could be a significant other, but the vibe that I'm getting is more so that it's either like a sibling or a really close friend that may as well be a sibling. And I feel like people really notice that bond, and maybe you both balance each other out really well, or you just like look really fierce together. I think people just really, really admire you too, like either the friendship you have, the way you treat each other. I also think one thing that makes you shine is the way you speak about yourself. Like, I think you're very conscious of how you talk about yourself and how you talk about others, and I think people have a lot of respect for you because you don't say anything if it's not unwarranted. Am I saying that correctly? Everything you say is warranted. You don't say things that are unwarranted, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like a lot of people, I'm not gonna lie, maybe a little bit envious of where you're at in life. I don't think that everyone has truly seen the trials and tribulations that you've had to go through in order to get to where you are now. And so I feel like people might look at you and be like, oh, pile 3 has had it easy. Like, pile 3, you know, was just born with these gifts, and like, they never had to work hard. But it's like not true at all. Like, you've worked so hard, but I feel like you're the type of person who's not going to express that sort of stuff because you have nothing to prove. Like, with all of this all of these dark colors, I feel like people only know about you what you want them to know about you. Like, I feel like you have this very mysterious kind of aura where even if you shine really brightly, it's like people are only going to see the surface. They're only going to see what you want them to see. Like, you really have to make a concerted effort to let people in order for people to see you at a deeper level. And I think that's partially because like, you don't need to show everyone who you are, and you know that not everybody is going to understand you anyway. And so it's like you just reserve the truest parts of yourself for the people that are really meant to vibe with you in that way, and like who are actually like worthy of seeing you in your truest form. You could be a little bit of a hermit sometimes. Maybe you have more of a social media presence than like a real world presence, which that could partially be just because of the panoramic and things like that. But I do think that a lot of people do, like I said earlier, put you on a pedestal, but they really respect you. And I think that you do have this energy where people know not to mess with you, and especially like not mess with your loved ones, because like you will come after them. Like, I feel like you're the type of person who is like, I have no problem beating up like a minor if they go after one of my loved ones, which like for like realistically, I'm sure you wouldn't do that, but like you kind of semi joke about it. Like, if I had to, I might. But I definitely think that your passion for what you do really shines through. And if you have cats, like you might almost be like a cat whisperer or something. Like, cats may be really drawn to you, or people with the name cat may be really drawn to you. But yeah, you have this really beautiful energy where you recognize, I'm hearing like Just the Way You Are by Bruno Mars, which is funny, but I feel like you are recognizing that like there was never anything wrong with you, and the people that like you compared yourself to, that you were like, oh, why can't I be like them, or like they're so perfect, you're realizing like, no, you're pile 3. Like, you don't need to be anybody other than pile 3. Like, you are so amazing. And I think now that you've kind of tapped into your gifts and tapped into what makes you special, it makes you shine so much more, because it's like you don't feel this need to try to conform to something or to try to be anyone other than who you are, because you recognize now like who you are is what allows you to be this amazing person and do the amazing things that you're doing. And yeah, I think you just shine in general. Like, you shine like the top of the Chrysler building. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the tarot now. I can see the cards are really excited to spill some tea. You might wear a lot of yellow, or you might like, your aura might be really yellow. Like, maybe you have a lot of really strong solar plexus energy. Or you could just be like a starseed in general, or just very in tune with the stars. Maybe you're really good at astrology, or you could have like a really unique look that like only you can pull off. Like, it's part of your aesthetic. Okay. So Spirit, what makes pile 3 stand out from others? What makes them shine? Okay, yeah, we have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Cups. I just want to say, like, right off the bat, anybody that's in your life, like, they recognize it as a blessing to be in your life. Like, not everybody gets access to your world, and the people that do feel very grateful for that. Yeah, we also have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, you are blessed for sure. What else, Spirit? We have the 5 of Swords. I'm hearing Bodak Yellow by Cardi B in my head. I'm like hearing like, if you see me and I don't speak, that means I don't fuck with you. Okay. Yeah, we have the 10 of Wands in reverse. And let's see, one more. Okay, yeah, we have the Ace of Wands upright, and on the back of the deck we have Justice. Yeah, I just want to say, if you ever deal with imposter syndrome, or you feel like what the blessings that you've been given in life, like, you don't deserve. Can I just say, like, that's not true at all, and that, like, you literally deserve all of this so much. You deserve everything that you've gotten. What I will say is that, like, people in your life, like, know that if they do some messed up stuff towards you, like, you will cut them off and, like, have no remorse. Like, you might deep down have remorse, but you're not going to show them that. Like, you might be sad about it, but you're not going to, like, let them know. Like, you have no problem cutting people out that are not worth your time or energy, which is really, really awesome. You could have some Libra energy in you. Let me get some water. I hate colds. But you are fire, man. Like, and I really do think that you may have, like, a lot of Jupiter placements in your chart. Like, you may have a lot of, like, blessings that just come naturally, or you could be, like, a naturally lucky person. I see people as viewing you as a naturally lucky person, but I don't think that. I think you cultivate your blessings and your good luck through hard work. I don't feel like this is something that you just get for doing nothing. Like, you're not like a Homer Simpson who just, like, naturally gets blessings because he's Homer Simpson and that's just how it works for him. Like, no, you work really hard and you do what you need to do in order to succeed. I feel like a lot of people are very attracted to you. Excuse me. And I definitely think part of that is the way you style yourself. Like, you may style yourself in a very, like, mysterious or unique way. It kind of has, like, Euphoria vibes in the sense that, like, some of you may, you know, go with, like, the glitter on your face or, like, rhinestones, or just dress in a very unique way that is tailored to you. You might even, like, get your clothes tailored. But I feel like people never see any of the burdens that you're carrying. And, like, with the 10 of Wands in reverse, like, you've gotten so much better at not carrying other people's loads at all. Like, you're so much better at not filling your plate up with things that are not necessary or relevant to you. And I also think that you're a very fair person. Like, people really do respect you. And they respect, for specifically some, like, they respect your political opinions, or they respect how you treat other people. Like, even if you don't agree with someone, you treat people the way you want yourself to be treated. And I think that people have a lot of respect for how you kind of go out of your way to even be respectful to people who may not even show you the same respect. Like, you're not going to let somebody's, like, kind of low vibe behavior determine how you treat others. And I think that a lot of people respect you for that. I also think that there are some people who maybe feel, like, burned by you. And, like, that may be something that people know about. And I feel like you kind of recognize that that's not something that you need to be concerned about. Like, I feel like you recognize that, like, you don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to explain your side. Like, you don't need to drag things out or be involved in trauma. Like, I feel like you're the type of person who is just like, okay, this is causing me stress, or this person is not being, like, kind to me or whatever, or this person is not treating me right. Like, they're out. Like, I'm done. Like, you just walk away. You don't even explain why. And I think for some people that might hurt them, but I feel like you have this energy where it's like, no, you should be glad I didn't tell you why. Like, you would not be happy. And I feel like you're just somebody who has this energy who can just remain unbothered, but is willing to step up and fight when they need to. With the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like people see you as somebody very reliable, somebody that they can depend on, and definitely very abundant, especially with the Wheel of Fortune being here as well. If you're self-made, I think a lot of people see that as, like, you deserve all the success that you've gotten. You deserve all of the benefits that you've reaped. And I feel like you're just somebody who, like, pours out love and passion towards other people. And, like, you make other people excited to get out of bed. You make other people excited to have a new start in life and try something different, especially with the Ace of Wands here. Like, I feel like you're a very naturally creative person. If you're, like, an artist or you do something that's just very creatively expressive. I think that you could be well known for that, or the people that do know what you create, they're very impressed by your eye. You could have a very good eye for like aesthetics, or you could be really knowledgeable in color theory as well. This is a very colorful deck, and I feel like you may really like color, you may wear a lot of colors or express yourself. Like you might actually like dress really plainly, and like maybe your home is very colorful, or like vice versa. I do think that color is important in some way for you, where it's almost like the colors that you're wearing or the colors that you design with really express like your mood at the time, and like kind of like what's going on with you. Like you kind of almost use color as symbolism, and I feel like there's always something deeper to how you express yourself, and only a select few people actually pick up on that. The ones that care enough to look a little bit deeper realize there's so much more hidden in plain sight about you that they don't really realize unless they take the time to really look. I feel like if you are a parent or act like a parental figure, I think that people notice that you're very nurturing, that you're a very like solid, reliable, dependable person and dependable parent. If you have like parent friends, I feel like they look at you as somebody that like they would trust their kids with, like that they trust. You got a good head on your shoulders, I guess is the point of what I'm trying to say. And I really think too, like, you come into people's lives so unexpectedly, and when you do, it's almost like you're like a blessing that people didn't even know they needed. And like after you're in their life, they're like, I cannot believe I ever experienced life without pile 3. Like how could I ever do that? And I think as well, you know, you're somebody who really takes their blessings and blesses others with them. Like you want to lift everyone up, and I think that when you are in a good place, or when you do have certain blessings, I feel like you don't take them for granted. Like you take time to express gratitude, not only to yourself but to the universe. You truly embrace every single day, and I feel like you also take your time when it comes to like just how you do things in general. Like you could be very methodical, or you could be chaotic but methodical. Like chaos is your method. Chaos is how you operate in certain ways. There is a lot of fire and water energy here, so I definitely think that you're very motivated by your emotions and by your passions, but you don't let those energies, like, you don't let them make you like go off the rails. You know what I mean? Like you're rational enough and like practical enough to be objective. Like you're not going to get lost in your emotions, but I do think that you're somebody who's not afraid to put yourself out there, not afraid to take different opportunities when they come. And I think a lot of people are just really inspired by you. They're inspired by your story, especially the ones that actually take the time to get to know you, because I feel like people could look at you and just be like, oh yeah, well, like they don't have any problems, like they're successful, their life is good, whatever. And it's like, no, like they didn't see your process. They didn't see you at your worst. Like they didn't see you at your lowest, and you never felt the need to prove that. And I just think that's so awesome. And I feel like life can never hold you down for very long, because you're just that type of person who will keep moving no matter what and will get back up. I think that a lot of people in your life just see you as an inspiration and somebody that they would love to emulate. And I think that you may have people that try to emulate you, and I don't really think it bothers you too much. I think you just are like, oh yeah, you know, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But I do think that more than anything, you trust the universe to give everyone what they deserve, and to deliver justice, or deliver what needs to be delivered to every person. It's like you have this very good energy of like, I don't need to be worried about anything that's not my business. And I think that you just have this energy where people may like project. You may be somebody that a lot of people project their own feelings onto, and that may be something that you had a difficult time with growing up, but I feel like now you recognize it as a strength because it tells you so much about the other person and nothing about yourself. And now that you know who you are, you recognize that there's nobody who could tell you about you. And I also think too, like, the difficult experiences you've had with past people have really developed you into the person that you are today. And I just want to say, Pile 3, like, from me to you, like, you should be so proud of yourself and so proud of how far you've come and how much you've grown. Like, I am so glad that you recognize that you are worthy and that you are deserving of these blessings, because you did not get these through a lack of gratitude or, you know, just by a stroke of luck. Like, you got this through hard work and blessings from your guides in the universe. And I think what's really beautiful about you as well is that you do have the ability to let your hair down and have fun, but you can be serious as well. Like, you're very well balanced. And I think that you may have this tendency to be able to balance your personality based upon who you're around, or even just the environment that you're in. Like, you could be very acutely in tune to like collective energies or just the energy of a room, and you can be malleable in that way, where you know how to kind of be the sort of person that's going to make everybody the most comfortable. And I feel like you're comfortable with that because you don't feel the need to constantly like prove who you are. You know who you are. And I feel like you just only show the realest people who you truly are, because not everybody gets the blessing of knowing who you are. It's almost like they have to be able to climb that mountain too, to see you and truly understand you. And there are a lot of people that are much more comfortable sitting at the bottom, and so they're just gonna look up at you and assume that, you know, you're different, or that maybe a magic bird flew up and plopped you up there. But, you know, that's just their own projections and their own beliefs, because they're maybe too afraid to climb the mountain themselves. And so I think, yeah, you're just overall an incredibly impressive person. And I think a lot of people like wish they knew your secrets and like wish they knew what made you you and how you've done what you've done. Overall, you're just a very impressive person, Pile 3. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off this reading with a little bit of positive guidance from the universe. This could have nothing to do with your, Alaska could be significant. The state, the drag queen, or the dessert. Anyway, these may have nothing to do with the reading, but I just wanted to get some messages for you to finish you off with something. So, Spirit, what would you like to tell Pile 3? What positive guidance do you have? Believe in yourself. You have the power to succeed just like everyone else does. Yeah, maybe you feel like you're not successful yet, but like everybody else sees you that way. And I think that's what's interesting about channeling from other people's perspectives, is like you really don't see how special you are. We also have refocus your energy. Sometimes the most productive way forward is to stop, rest, and reassess. Yeah, maybe you're having a hard time like getting back into a more playful energy, and I think the universe is encouraging you to do what you need to do. We also have you're deserving, accept the good, you deserve it, reject the bad, you deserve more. I fully agree. We also have trust and receive. Amazing work. Your persistence is paying off. Trust the process and expect to receive very soon. And on the back of the deck, we have be fearlessly you. It's time to become fearlessly you. This is the most powerful step you can take towards living your best life. Don't worry about what other people think. So I feel like a lot of these cards kind of reiterate what I was saying. So maybe you don't see these things as much as you should, which if you don't, you better start, because you're really incredible, Pile 3. And I think you should just be really proud of how far you've come, and just know that it's not your job to even the playing field. Trust and accept the blessings that you have received and will be receiving in the future, because you deserve every bit of them. And know that like there's a lot of yellow and purple here. So I definitely feel like a mixture of your confidence and your connection to yourself and like source energy is what truly helps you find that way up the mountain and find your success. So just trust your connection to the universe or your connection to yourself, and have confidence in who you are, because the more you do, the more unstoppable you'll be. And like, you don't need to be pressed about anyone that's jealous or intimidated of you, because it just says so much more about them than it does you. And yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys, pile 3. I am sending you so much love. Be sure to check out Lexi's video on her channel. I will have it linked down below. But that's all I have. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video. You can comment down below. Let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little bell notification to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, which is also linked below, as well as my social media. Though do be aware, I have a lot of people, scammers, pretending to be me, especially on Instagram, and I am not offering personal readings right now. So if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. I will not try to solicit personal readings from you in my DMs, and my only social media accounts are linked down below and linked on my channel. Just be careful and be safe. So thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards. I really hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 4. If you guys chose the Synesthesia Tarot, as well as this Pyrite and clear quartz, this is going to be your reading. And I just wanted to start off with your stone. Because I just think this stone is so freaking cool. The fact that there's literally pyrite inside of it, I really feel like you're just a hidden gem, and I feel like you truly shine from the inside out. Like, yeah, man, you're just, I already love your energy, and we haven't even looked at your cards yet. So we're gonna start with some oracles. So to start, we have the Shaman. We have Helen of Troy with beauty, and we have the Jade Emperor with organization. We also have number 23, Labyrinth. We have the Opossum. We have I Am Wild and Free. I love how these match. And we have the Raccoon. So, wow, okay. Pile 4. I wouldn't say pile 3. Pile 4. You guys are so fascinating and so complicated. And I feel like part of it is that you're really not as complicated as you seem. But I feel like you've been in this process of figuring out who you are. And so as a result, I feel like people constantly have to readjust how they see you or their perceptions of you, because you're constantly shifting. And what I feel like is so beautiful is one of the things that has really shifted about you, either recently or you could have always been like this, but I feel like for a lot of you, this is more of a more recent shift. You're learning how to just like let your hair down and have more fun. I really think that you are a sweetheart. Like, you have a heart of gold, and I feel like you really care about anybody you come into contact with. I feel like there is not a mean bone in your body. Like, you're the type of person to, like, if there's a bug in your house, like, you're not gonna kill it, you're gonna take it outside or do what you need to do. I feel like you have a lot of respect for all creatures, and I think that you have insane psychic abilities and gifts. So you could do something with those, or people just acknowledge like how intuitive you are, or people trust you to come to you for guidance or things like that. You're definitely like, you seem like a pacifist and somebody who, you know, does not fight fire with fire. Like, you're gonna be the type of person that redirects energy, like forceful energy your way. Like, you're somebody who will fight with love, not war. And what I really see is that other people really view you as somebody so powerful. And honestly, this is really making me think of Spirited Away. Like, I don't know, should I say Chihiro or Sen? In that movie, if you've never seen that movie, she kind of starts the movie as a very scared little girl, and well, she is a little girl, she's like 10, and she ends up having to work at this bathhouse in the spirit world, and people treat her really, really, really poorly. And even though she's treated poorly, her attitude is not poisoned by that negativity sent her way, by the lack of empathy around her. She continues to be kind and compassionate and respectful towards people, even when they aren't respectful towards her. And I really feel like you have that energy. Like, you're somebody who is going to kill people with kindness. And one thing that I see about you is that, like, other people see you as way more powerful than you see yourself, which is honestly such a bummer, because like, you are so powerful. Pile 4, like, we have Helen of Troy coming out here, like the face that launched 1,000 ships. And like, you could be very like physically attractive, physically beautiful. You may have a really beautiful face, but I really think the true beauty about you is your inner beauty. Like, even if you are outwardly beautiful as well, which I think, like, you know, beauty is subjective and in the eye of the beholder. And I think that like everyone is beautiful in their own ways, but like, I feel like your inner beauty really makes you shine. It also makes me think of the Roald Dahl book, The Twits. And it talks about how if you think happy thoughts and you radiate good energy, and like, he doesn't word it that way, he words it much more funny and eloquently, but he essentially says like the good thoughts, the sunshine within you will make you a beautiful person, and other people will see you as beautiful. But you know, if you're rotten and decrepit on the inside, like, you're gonna show that outwardly as well, that's what the Twits were like. But I really think that you have the Midas touch for people's energy, because it's like you lift the energies of the people around you no matter where you go. It's like you have this very cleansing energy, almost like a human bathhouse in a way, where it's like you just kind of come through wherever you are or whoever you're with, and you just kind of cleanse spaces. And I think a lot of this is unconsciously. Maybe you do it more now. If you are like more tapped into your gifts, maybe you do it more consciously at this point. You could be into energy healing of some kind, like Reiki, or something like that. But I feel like people just see you as like an endless maze of new discoveries. Like, you might be the type of person that has their hands in a lot of different pies, so to speak. Like, you may have a lot of different like weird conflicting hobbies, or a lot of different conflicting interests. Like, you could be somebody who loves golf and then also like loves occult stuff, and so then like your golf buddies might be like, wait, what? Like, you divinate? Or they may not even know what divination is. Like, there may be just so many parts of you, and like, people may only see specific parts of you. But I feel like I just heard ego death. So you could have had like a significant ego death in the past, or just many ego deaths that have just led you to realize that like your human body is just an expression of your soul, and that you don't have to be confined by any limitations that your ego may try to set. And I feel like you're just somebody who is just trying to have a good time, man. Like, you're just trying to vibe. And I think people really respect how you go about in life. I think the biggest thing, though, that people notice is that you don't have the same confidence in yourself that other people have in you. I really think that you have big dreams, or people notice that like your inner world is very complex. And while you might be kind of silent on the outside, there's so much going on internally. Speaking of organization, you could be a really organized person, but I feel like for some of you, you have like rather than being like a really organized person, you have kind of an organized chaos. I will say some of you here may have like ADHD or be neurodivergent in some sort of way. And I feel like people really notice how you use, if you are neurodivergent, your neurodivergence too, you use it to play to your strengths, and you make it work, and you find solutions to things where you know, your neurodivergence may hold you back, you don't let it hold you back. Like, you find solutions to make up for whatever limitations you may have. And I feel like you're just very in tune. Like, you're a student of the universe and you're constantly learning. And I feel like you just have this beautiful energy where you don't assume you know everything. You don't assume that you're above or below people. I feel like you really just have a genuinely kind and loving energy. And I think there's a lot of people, like, you might have stans, or like you might have people that would literally kill for you. Like, because I also think that people see your kindness and like the purity that comes with that, and they just like protect pile 4 at all costs is like the kind of vibe. And like, I agree, protect pile 4 at all costs. Because you picked the Synesthesia Tarot, you could have synesthesia. I have synesthesia. So you might find that that helps you in some sort of way. I do think that people notice that like you're way more talented than you give yourself credit for. And I do think that you maybe play down your strengths, play down your accomplishments. But I feel like people just look at you and they're like, oh my God, like Pile 4 is so down to earth. Like, I can't believe Pile 4 is so humble about this. Like, you definitely are very humble. Like, you're out here being like, oh, I'm just some clear quartz, you know, super common. And like, meanwhile, you're literally this like pyrite inside of clear quartz, like so cool and unique and beautiful. And I really just feel like you are learning so much about the world, learning so much about yourself. And I think the beautiful thing is that you're not losing your inner child in the process. Like, as you grow and as you evolve, you remain the same pure heart that you were when you were a child. And I feel like even if, you know, you slip up or you slip into ego, which we all do, it's like you always reconnect back to your truest self. And I feel like you're somebody who truly stands for good, who stands for doing the right thing. And I feel like you recognize the complexities in the world, and that like things are not very black and white. Like, I think you see the heart in situations, and you truly look for the good in everyone. And that may get you into trouble sometimes, but I feel like you would much rather have that perspective than become, for lack of a better term, jaded by the negativity of the world or the darkness of the world. Because I feel like you have your own darkness, you recognize your own darkness. And I think a lot of your darkness, honestly, is what keeps you so humble, because you have this awareness of like, everybody's going through their own struggles, everybody has their own sort of thing going on. And I feel like you have an amazing ability to connect and relate to people of all different walks of life. I feel like people would trust you with their life and trust you with anything. Like, you're the type of person who's gonna keep people's secrets. And I feel like even people that have known you for years still get shocked at times by the things that they learn about you. Like, you may one day be like playing guitar and like somebody's like, what? I didn't even know you play guitar. And you're like, yeah, I've been playing for like 5 years. Like, you just are so, you're just like, you're jolly. Like, you're jolly, and I love it. And maybe you're not jolly all the time, but like, when you're in your element and you're in tune with your inner child, there is just this beautiful light that emanates from you. And it's so awesome. It's so beautiful. I really think too, like you don't give yourself enough credit, Pile 4, of peace and love. Like, you really should give yourself more credit. I feel like you hide yourself at times, and that may be from past trauma or out of fear of really putting yourself out there. But what I need to tell you, Pile 4, is that you are so much more beautiful than you realize. And like, you don't have to be this down to earth. Like, you could elevate a little bit if you want to, because I really do feel like you need to put yourself out there a little bit more and put out what you're doing or put out what you're creating, or not be afraid to be who you are. And you may feel more comfortable having like aliases or sharing your creations anonymously or through something that's not directly linked to you. And I feel like Spirit is really encouraging you to try to go out of your comfort zone a little bit with that, and try some different things. but you are somebody who tries different things. So it's like, I don't even need to tell you that. You could be really good at yoga, or you could be somebody that just like likes to tumble and things like that. Tumbling in the sense of like, I recognize maybe not everyone will understand that. Tumbling in the sense of like cheerleading or gymnastics, for example, like doing like flips and shit. You know what I mean? Back handsprings, back tucks, fulls, layouts, all that jazz. I highly doubt a lot of you are doing that, but some of you might be. Congrats, you can do more than I can at this moment. But I think that you are just somebody that is young at heart. Like, you have a youthful spirit. You're fun. I feel like your ideal space would be like a room just like that's just one giant trampoline. Like, you're just like so fun. I love it. And I think that people just love you and love being around you. And I think people may underestimate at times like the kindness and the almost like naive innocence that you have. Like, here's the thing, you're not like objectively naive, but I think people view you as maybe more naive than you really are. I think you just don't necessarily show everyone your perspective, because like, why do they need to see it? And so in your case, it's like people are often blown away by your perspective and how you see things, and like the discoveries and the observations you have about the universe. You might have like multiple people vying for your attention or vying for your heart, or you could be a little bit of a heartbreaker in the sense that like you're not trying to break anyone's heart, but maybe you just naturally like attract a lot of people and you're not just going to settle for anything or anyone. I really think too, you could have like intensely vivid dreams or something like that, and they may play a role in like how you go about life or something like that. Maybe you pop up in a lot of people's dreams, and like people will say like, oh, I had a dream about you last night or something like that. You may also do work on the astral, but I think that you're just genuinely like beautifully complex and beautifully unique in yourself. And I think the most beautiful part is that like with everything that you do, there's no superficial reason behind it. I think the biggest reason why you do things is because you enjoy them or you want to, which is beautiful in of itself. But like everything that you do is just an extension of your spirit. Like, you're not doing things from an egoic perspective or from a showy perspective. Like, I think you genuinely care about others and you genuinely care about helping others. You could be really philanthropic, and that may be something that people admire about you. And I also think that you have these times where you may kind of like retreat into hermit modes. And when you come back more powerful than you were before. And I think people see you as somebody who's truly dedicated to making the world a better place, making the world a bit more just, and using any power that you have for good. Like, you know that phrase, like, power doesn't corrupt people, it just shows you who people truly are. Like, you're the person who actually uses power responsibly, like, and uses your power for good and not just for personal benefit. Like, with this Aquarius energy here, I really feel like you genuinely care about all humans and like all creatures, like not just humans, like you care about all creatures, all souls. And I feel like you're the type of person who doesn't take things really personally. Maybe you did in the past, but I feel like you just want the best for everyone, like even if they did you wrong in the past. And I think that that's just such a beautiful quality that you have. Like, you genuinely want things to happen for the highest good of all beings, not just for the highest good of you or the highest good of your loved ones. But I do think you can be a bit scrappy if you need to, but I feel like you're the type of person who avoids confrontation at all costs. And so I feel like a lot of your friends or loved ones, and if you have a significant other, them, or significant others, them, they see you as somebody that they can feel safe to like talk to and be honest with without like getting confrontational or getting, well, I just heard butt hurt, but yeah, you just have this energy where you're really easy to talk to and you're really understanding and really gracious. And yeah, you just have a very beautiful energy, and very, like, what makes you stand out is that you're just like a stand-up person. And like, yeah, I feel like people love hanging out with you one-on-one, especially because I think that you have this capability of making anyone feel special and showing people. You're almost like, you know, in Harry Potter, like the mirror of Erised, it's almost like you're almost like that mirror, and you show people, instead of people seeing like their greatest desires, you show people the amazing things that they already have within them or outwardly on them that they couldn't see before. And so I think that everybody in your life genuinely is grateful to be there and grateful to have you in their life. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a bit deeper now, and we'll shuffle your tarot cards. This is the Synesthesia Tarot, like I said. And I really think too, you're the type of person who, even when you're subtle, you make such an impact. I just find you very fascinating. I also do want to say as well, you are very energetically protected. Like, you're very well protected, and yeah, even if people try to mess with you, you have people around you that will not stand for that. I did also want to mention as well, with the raccoon, we have earth energy, so you could have Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn placements. But Spirit, what makes Pile 4 stand out? We have the 4 of Cups. I just heard missing link. You're like the person who shows people things that they couldn't see with their own 2 eyes. Like, you know, the 4 of Cups is often about like an answer that's in front of us that we're not seeing, or like an opportunity that's in front of us that we're not seeing. And I feel like you help turn people around and be like, hey, like, this is what, you like give people answers without realizing it. We have the Hermit, yeah. You definitely have some Virgo-y, Hermit-y energy. We have the 5 of Cups. We have Judgment. We have the 8 of Wands. We have the King of Wands. And on the back of the deck, we have the 6 of Wands. Okay, yeah. You stand out without even trying. And I feel like at times you may try to like sell yourself short, or like slow yourself down, or almost just like try to keep yourself small, because it may be overwhelming to you when you're seen. Like, if you're in the public eye or something you do is well known, you may have trouble feeling fully confident in that. But I think that people see you as confident anyway. And I think too, what's really beautiful about you is that you have been through so much, but like I said, you don't let what you've been through become something that defines you. Like, your struggles, the things that you do to grow, like, they're not things that hold you down and hold you back. You use them to propel you forward. And I think that you come into people's lives and like really just show them things that were already there that they couldn't see before. I think that you have this amazing ability to light up a room. Like, you could go, how do I want to word this? Even if you're like the shyest person in the world, when you enter a room, people notice you because of your energy, and that might make you uncomfortable, but like, you have a very comforting presence to others. Like, I really think that you could be a little bit more confident in who you are, because man, you're powerful. Sorry, I was burping. I definitely think people notice that you may disappear at times, and people might just be like, what the heck? Like, what happened to pile 4? Like, where did they go? But like, you always come back with these fascinating insights, and you always come back, like I said earlier, more powerful than you were before. I think that people also recognize that you are so much more intelligent than maybe some people give you credit for. or maybe than some people realize. Like, you may have thought yourself that like you weren't very smart, like maybe because you didn't do well in school or you didn't get very great grades or something like that. But it was, I feel like a lot of that had to do with like the types of environments that you were in, like not really being tailored or catered to you. And so it's like you weren't able, it's like that Albert Einstein quote, like if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it'll spend its whole life thinking it's stupid or not good enough. And it's like, I feel like a lot of your earlier challenges were and insecurities were based around societal things that just weren't very supportive of you and supportive of the person that you are. And I feel like as you've gotten older, you've learned how to do things and embrace who you are and make things work for you instead of feeling like you have to conform to some sort of societal standard. I really think that you inspire people to take action, and whatever it is that you've been taking action towards, whether it's a personal endeavor or like your creative spirit or just your spirit in general, like you inspire people to be more confident and put themselves out there as well. Like people have seen you being highly successful in some sort of way. And so if you don't see yourself as successful, I think other people do. And I also think that like if you haven't achieved like success yet, I think that's not only in your future, but I think other people see you as inevitably being very successful. But I also think that this success isn't just like the standard definition of success. I think it's whatever you kind of define success to be. But I really feel like you have evolved so much since who you were like when you were younger, like especially around adolescence. I feel like you've transformed so much. Like the Judgment card is ruled by Pluto, and I feel like you just had these super powerful, intense transformations where people are just like, wow, like who, like they have no idea like the things that you can do and the things that you are achieving or the person that you're becoming. Is just like people are like, holy schlamoli, like how, like I had no clue that pile 4 was like this. Like there are a lot of people who underestimate you, and I feel like maybe that's why you partially feel afraid to kind of put yourself out there. But man, it is so impressive. You prove people wrong all the time, and you don't even realize it. Like I think you underestimate people, like not you underestimate people, but people underestimate you so much that like maybe you're just kind of used to that, and maybe you almost like out of fear kind of play yourself down, and so people kind of buy into that, and then you do things that are just you and you be yourself, and people are like, holy, oh, like pile 4 is amazing. And I feel like you really are a strong leader, or you're becoming that. And I feel like a lot of people look up to you, and you might be really uncomfortable with that role because you're like, oh, like I don't really feel like I should be leading people. Like I don't even know what I'm doing. Like I can't even always take the lead in my own life. And it's like, you know, the best leaders usually do not take power themselves. Power is handed to them. And I feel like you've been through a lot of really disappointing experiences in life that kind of turned your world upside down. But you know what, like, but instead of allowing it to hold you back, it's like you learn to hang loose and like hang 10. Maybe some of you are surfers, but it's almost like when the world turned upside down, you were like, okay, I'll turn upside down too. Like you are the type of person who makes lemons with lemonade. Like you makes lemons with lemonade, makes lemonade with lemons. Sorry. What I will say, like just as a side note, like I do this thing, and I know I do it like when I'm channeling because it's hard for me to be present, where like, but I do this in my daily life too. So like it's not just when I'm channeling. Like for example, this chrysoprase, like I could be looking at that and like I fully recognize that it's green, but for some reason, like my brain will just be like, yeah, that blue crystal, and like people will be like, what? That's green. And I'm like, I know that's green. My brain fed me blue for some reason, even though I knew that was green. Like sometimes my brain just replaces words without my permission or without me realizing it. And I think I'm saying the right thing, and I'm recognizing it as the right thing. I just say the wrong word or I mix up phrases like that. But I think that you have an incredibly beautiful mind and a beautiful heart. And I think that you show people things that they would never see otherwise. Like, you know, like when you're like those Where's Waldo books. Like when you're looking for Waldo, it's like you can't find him at all, but then once you find him, it's like it's so obvious where he is. Like you're kind of that person. Like you may be really good at like picture searches, like I Spy and stuff like that, or you have a very keen eye. You could be very detail oriented as well, and people may notice that in like the things that you do, like especially if you're very meticulous, which Virgo energy is very meticulous. And I feel like you're learning how to use your brain to make you more powerful rather than to allow it to tear you down. I also think as well, you've awakened to the truth of like disappointments of life. Like you're aware now that like the negative parts of life have play just as much of a role as the positive parts do. And I think that you learn how to count your blessings and count your rainbows, not your thunderstorms. And I think people really admire how even when you're struggling and going through a difficult time, you're not the type of person to whine or complain about it. Like you're like the epitome of that meme of that dog that's like sitting in a house that's like on fire and he's just like, this is fine. Which I mean, like obviously there's some stress in that dog's energy, but I feel like you're so good at playing that off. Like you put on such a brave face and I don't think you even realize it. Like I would also say as well, like you could be somebody who, like, in a physical sense, like, glowed up glue? Who had a glow up? I think that's it. You may have had a physical glow up of some kind. Maybe you kind of resonate with, like, ugly duckling energy when you were younger. And so, so you developed a personality or a sense of humor to compensate. You might also be really, really funny. Like, people may really enjoy your jokes or just find you to be, like, really hilarious. And I feel like you really don't see your external beauty, but it's, like, you're literally the whole package. Like, not only are you physically attractive, like, because even if you don't see yourself as physically attractive, there's definitely a lot of people that are physically attracted to you. Like, I think a lot of people, one thing that makes you stand out is like how attractive you are, like body, mind, and soul. Like you're literally the whole package. And I really feel like people are like, you will get the flex of being nice and attractive. Like that is like the best flex. And I think that people may like be intimidated by you at first because you do seem maybe more cold and more like and you may just intimidate people like with your looks or with your energy. And when people get to know you, it's like they realize that you're just like this sweet little thing. Like you know, from the book / the movie Series of Unfortunate Events / the Netflix show Series of Unfortunate Events, there's a snake in it called the Incredibly Deadly Viper, but it's like totally a misnomer. Like the snake itself is actually like really sweet and cuddly and kind. And so, oh my god, and there's a snake in here as well. So like maybe you were born in like the year of the snake. Is that one of the Chinese zodiacs? And the Jade Emperor is I can't say it right, Taoist deity, which I believe is from, is it Taoism? I don't know how to say it properly, I'm sorry, but I believe that originates from China. So you could be Chinese, or you could have a connection to Chinese culture as well as Greek. You could be Greek or have a connection to Greek culture. You could also, one vibe I was getting too is for some of you, you might be like mixed race or something like that. And so you may have like a really strong connection to like multiple different cultures. And you could be like this just really cool amalgamation of different cultures. Like you might like make like really cool food that's like a fusion of those different cultures, or you may just take a lot of time and energy to honor your ancestors, to honor where you came from. And I think that that's just a really beautiful aspect about you that especially your family really appreciates. But I also think that people, like, you're so good at like turning people's frowns upside down. Like, you know exactly what people need even without realizing it. And I feel like you even touch like strangers' days. Like, you could say something to a stranger and just like without thinking, and it's exactly what they needed to hear. Like, I feel like your words can almost be like life-saving at times, and your insights to people are just into people without even realizing it are incredible. Like, you really should trust your intuition more than you do. But you have a really strong inner sense of self, and it's like you really do shine from the inside out. And I think that other people see that, and other people just really admire that about you. And it's like, the more that you come into yourself, the more powerful you will be. And I feel like you really should be proud of how far you've come, Pile 4, because to get this far and not lose your integrity, not lose your dignity, not lose what makes you you, it takes a really special person. Like, I almost want to cry. Like, you're so special. And you just are this amazing amalgamation of all of these different but unique energies. Like, you are literally a snowflake in the most beautiful way possible. Like, there is only one of you. And even though this is a general reading, like, even though you have similarities in energy, you know, remember, like, you're all dispersed around the world, and like, you all play such an important role in the lives that you touch. And yeah, oh my gosh, I wish we could have like a Pile 4 party, and like, you guys could like recognize how powerful you all are and how amazing you all are. But maybe give each other some love in the comments. But yeah, I just feel like you awaken people. You awaken people to things that they didn't see before, and your connection to spirit is like unparalleled. Like, the suit of wands is the most connected to spirit. And so I feel like you really do just have a deeper spiritual purpose behind everything that you do. And I feel like you could be a natural channel, or you could almost be more charismatic when you're like not really stuck in your head. Like, when you're not thinking and you're just being yourself, like, your natural charisma shines through. And like, I think you do have a natural charisma that you may undermine with your own uncertainty and your own doubts. But like, the more you just kind of like don't think about things and just kind of do them and kind of just speak from the heart and just allow yourself to be you, you come off as incredibly charismatic, and it's really, really attractive to people. And I think a lot of people really look up to you and look up to the person that you are, this like independent badass that has not lost their heart, has not lost their kindness, and has not lost their compassion and desire to help humanity. Like, you just have such a special energy, Pile 4, and really what makes you shine is like all of you, literally every single aspect of you. Like, there is nothing that I can say that's like, there's just nothing that's wrong with you. And like, of course, all humans are flawed, but like, okay, one thing is that you might be quick to anger sometimes, but not at other people. I just feel like you're that type of person. Like, if you like stub your toe, you're gonna like be like, like, you're like maybe cuss out the thing that you stubbed your toe on, but like, you wouldn't be mean to a human, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like you're learning to stand up for yourself and not avoid confrontation as much. But I feel like people have seen you just come out of so many difficult trials and come out such a strong person, and you're just an inspiration to everybody around you. Like, you inspire me, Pile 4. Like, I'm so inspired by you, and like, I'm so inspired by your energy. And like, for some of you coming to this pile, you may be on the beginning steps of this journey to becoming yourself. And I just want to say, like, don't give up. Like, the person that you are becoming is so beautiful and so powerful. And I think that you're going to be in this constant state of transformation. Like, you're never just going to be somebody who stops growing or who stays a fixed person. Like, I think you're constantly integrating new elements of yourself and becoming more and more of yourself. And it's just so beautiful and so powerful. And the fact that you can undergo all this change, undergo all this challenge, and still be the sweet soul that you are is just the most precious and special thing in the world. And you deserve to be celebrated forever because of it. And I hope that you do, because this energy is so beautiful, and you are so beautiful, Pile 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this reading with some guidance cards. These may have nothing to do with the reading, but I wanted to leave you off with at least something, a little something, some messages from the universe. Spirit. Oh, one thing I want to mention as well is that people may overlook you sometimes, and there's a lot of regret that comes with that when they see the truth. But anyway, that's their problem. Spirit, what positive guidance do you have for pile 4? We have surrender. Trust that the universe is working behind the scenes for you. Your manifestations will materialize when you truly surrender. We have health. Treat your body with nutrients and exercise. This is important for your overall well-being right now. Yeah, I will say, like, if you do have like ADHD or something like that, I have to like put like reminders on my phone to make sure that like I eat and drink water and stuff like that, because I'll just get too like hyper focused on like what I'm doing. And yeah, it can be hard to remember to take care of yourself, but definitely prioritize that, because your vessel needs that. You know, when you are a person that expresses from the inside out, it's like your body is just an extension of what your true soul's energy is. And so, you know, you want to make sure that you're nurturing that and catering to that as well, because it's the vessel that allows your spirit to express itself, and having gratitude for it and all that it brings you is important. We also have friendship. You're an incredible friend. You're valued and a joy to be around. Yeah, I don't doubt that. And look there, you're appreciated. Your friends and family appreciate you more than you know. And okay, let's get one more, Spirit. Give and receive love. Give love with a generous heart. Receive love with an open heart. And on the back of the deck, we have self-love. It's time to fall in love with yourself. You come first. And I just saw these two and I felt like you needed them. New beginnings. An exciting shift is on its way. A new job, project, promotion, or home is in the works. Relax. Everything is okay. Everything is working out perfectly, and this situation will resolve effortlessly. Expect miraculous solutions to unfold. But yeah, I really feel like the biggest thing that you could work on is just recognizing how awesome you are. But pile 4, I'm going to leave this reading here. Definitely be sure to go to Lexi's channel and check out her video if you haven't already. But I do just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. But if you would like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. And you can click that little bell notification, be part of my notification squad, get to my uploads early. If you would like to support, get my merch or something like that, that will be linked down below, as well as my social medias. Do be aware though, there are a lot of scammers impersonating me and pretending to be me. So just know that I don't have any backup accounts. I do not offer personal readings, and I will not solicit a reading from you in your DMs. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. My only social media accounts are linked down below, and yeah, just that. So thank you guys so much for watching and for letting me be a part of your energy and for letting me read you. Thank you so much to your guys as well. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye.